The MacStock 9 Digital Pass with Mike Potter. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is supported by MacVoices Live, our weekly live panel discussion of what is going on in the Apple space, as well as the larger tech world, and how it is impacting you. Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, or whatever time that is wherever you are, at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV, and participate in the chat, or catch the edited and segmented versions of the show on the regular MacVoices channels and feeds. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, you thought we were done with MacStock. I thought we were done with MacStock 2025, but not just yet, because Mike Potter is back to tell us now about a new MacStock 2025 asset or resource or product. Mike, which one of those should it be? I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure myself now. You've confused me, Chuck. I don't know what we're going to call it. No, of course, we're talking about the Digital Pass.
Yes, so we'll just call it the Digital Pass. How's that? And let's keep all the categorizations.
There you go. I like that.
No, I wanted to have you back because we sort of did a MacStock wrap up. I guess now it's been a month or so ago, 2 months ago. I don't know, but the Digital Pass is always something that we want to point people to. That if they couldn't make MacStock, now it's almost as good as being at MacStock.
It's a pretty darn good experience. I was very happy with how the Digital Pass turned out this year. And admittedly, part of it was the new hardware I purchased. We got an all new camera for MacStock this year, and gosh darn, if the video that came out of that camera wasn't so much better than what we've ever had before on the Digital Pass. It was very, look, I just put the Digital Pass out there, but gosh, it looked great. It looks great, Chuck, and it's partly thanks to this camera, I have to say.
Well, and that's it. The technology gets a little better. No, sometimes it gets a lot better, and you need to keep up. And so I'm delighted that you did the investment, because now the Digital Pass videos look amazing, and that doesn't even talk about the content that is amazing. I like it. But if memory serves, I think that there was a little bit of a story about this year's videos that there was almost an issue.
Oh, you're going to make me relive that, huh?
I could see you were trying to blank it out of your mind, and I pulled you back.
Trying to blank it out of my mind. I did share this in the newsletter when I put it out. By the way, I should probably mention that if you attended MacStock in person, the Digital Pass was included with your weekend pass. So if you were at MacStock in person, you do have the Digital Pass already, and you can already log into your account on the MacStock site and rewatch all the amazing talks from this year. And then, of course, there are the folks who did already purchase a Digital Pass. The moment I made them available this year, there's a number of folks who do tend to purchase it every year, and they have access as well. But yeah, as I kind of joked but not joked in the newsletter when I put it out this weekend, I almost thought I was going to have to put some lively piano music in the video to accompany the actions on stage, because we had no sound. No sound was recorded at all for Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, which you can imagine how my heart sank the moment I realized that was the case. But fortunately, we were also recording in the mixer, and we do have a secondary camera that was recording, and those two sources of audio allowed me to I had to line up the audio to the lip movements of the people talking on stage, but that wasn't so bad. Final Cut makes that pretty easy to do, and I was able to release the videos, and they sound good. They sound good.
That's good. So the camera was fine. The mic situation was a little shaky. So
yeah, well, I do know what happened, but because we had audio Friday morning. The issue was Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, and I know what happened, but that's neither here nor there. We got it worked out. All the videos are ready to go.
So let's talk a little bit about, because we're talking digital pass. What does this mean? This means that all the sessions at MacStock are now available to review. The camera captured not just the presenters, but also the screens, as if I remember correctly, because Roger was sort of doing live production, shooting, cutting back and forth. I am correct about that, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Let's see. Starting in MacStock 7, which we held at the Stage Left Cafe at the Woodstock Opera House. That was the first year we had this new setup. And the new setup is a combination software, hardware, and an amazing volunteer in Roger Harmon. The software is Ecamm Live, and the hardware is this year was an M4 Pro Mac Mini and let's see, this year I had the Zoom PodTrack mixer, and then the camera, the new camera, is an OBSBot Tail 2 is what we're using now. And the amazing thing about that is that we can lock it on the presenter so that as they move back and forth on stage, the camera will follow them, which was huge this year, because every year we would end up with video where the speaker was just not there because they walked out of the frame. And so having a camera that follows our presenters was huge. So all three of those things combined with Roger's production skills made for a really nice, easy to put together digital pass this year that includes the slides. And as we're looking at the slides, we have, you can see the presenter as they're talking next to them. And then of course there are scenes as well where we just see the presenter. So Roger does a great job with his directorial skills there. And a matter of switching the scenes, and we end up with some amazing content at the end.
So how many sessions are there? I mean, I was there, but after a while, I keep going from session to session. They look great. They all were great. I know there's specific ones that I want to go back, because no matter how much I tried to take notes, I couldn't necessarily keep up with some of the things. So, how many total sessions were there?
On Friday, we had we had 2 workshops on Friday. So we had a total of 6 workshops. The workshops are 90-minute sessions, if you will, a little bit more involved in any one given topic. 90-minute sessions there, and then we had our regular 45-minute talks as well. And on Friday, we had 2 workshops and 3 sessions, 1 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. On Saturday, we had 2 workshops and 2 regular sessions, plus a special MacVoices Live and a Mac Geek Gab that evening. So we had that. And then on Sunday, we had 2 workshops. You're relying upon my memory here, Chuck. 2 workshops and 4 45-minute sessions. So let's see, that would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 45-minute sessions and 6 workshops. Yeah. Plus the bonus content like MacVoices Live Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
So we're not going to do the math on that, but let's just say there are a lot of hours here of great content. That
a lot of hours of great content.
Yeah. And if you weren't there, then this is a chance to gain all the information from that great content. And if you were there, it's a chance to relive it. And I know with past digital passes, same thing. There are sessions that I want to go back and rewatch, and I've used them as reference points for some things that maybe I wasn't necessarily particularly into at the time, or didn't have time to be into, but I remembered somebody did a session on that. It's like, oh yeah, I want to go back and watch that. And it served as sort of a kickstart to what my then now current interests are. So there's so many
Yeah.
reasons to buy a digital pass as far as I'm concerned, and it's such a great value for
And
the money.
oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you're getting. I was tempted to do the math here, but you're getting all this content. You're getting the bonus content. If you enjoy that sort of thing, I did leave some behind the scenes stuff in particular before the Mac Voices Live. All the setup that was going on stage in the background, that was kind of left in there. I leave about 5 minutes before a talk begins so folks can kind of see what we do to set up for the next presenter, and then I leave maybe 2 or 3 minutes at the end of it. Plus we have Brian's introductions and comments throughout the weekend that are also included in there, so it does kind of feel like you're there. What I was going to say is I really enjoy putting together the digital pass, because one of the things I don't get to do is just sit down and listen to the talks all weekend long. So, from my perspective, this is kind of a way for me to also relive MacStock and to take in all these amazing talks. And my gosh, there is some great content out there. And once I got the ability to sit down and listen to a full 45-minute session and not just bits of it here and there, I gosh, so this has got to be one of the best Mac stocks yet.
We were talking pre-show, pardon me, and I really think every year it gets better. And that's not taking anything away from previous years, but just every year it gets better, maybe because the content, a lot of the content is fresh. You seldom have people rehash topics. You always come up with new topics or updating maybe previously presented topics. And so, yeah, it just, I've said it a million times. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year because I get to go and be with people that I know, with friends, or met a lot of new friends this year, and also learn. And that's something that I would like to think that everyone who's watching this episode of Mac Voices shares with me and with Mike, that we love to learn. And so this is another great opportunity to do it from some really terrific presenters.
Well, that was an amazing lead into what I was about to say. You mentioned how different the talks are every year. And one of the things I started a number of years back is theming every year, a one word theme to the year. And this year's theme was share. And you just mentioned the word share. You also mentioned the word learn, which was also a theme from a number of years back. And there's actually a reason for presenting the themes in the order that I am, but you'll have to wait for my opening comments at MacStock 10 to learn what that reason is. But those themes are not a strict directive to the presenters, but it gives them a very, very loose framework within which to put their talk. And when they have this loose framework, and they can make it as specific or as generic as they like within this one word theme. But when they do that, that I think gives the presenters an opportunity to look and think outside the box that they might normally put themselves in. And that's why we end up with so many different and wildly unique talks for any one given presenter from year to year. We have presenters that you think, oh, that person is going to talk about this topic because that's something they know very well, and almost certainly they're going to present a talk on it. And then because of the theme that year, they come up with something that's not related to that, and it intrigues you more because it opens up another side of their personality that maybe you didn't know existed. And so that's something I found was a huge benefit to theming MacStock. And we do have a theme for next year as well, yet to be announced. I know what it is, yet to be announced. But we do, it it sometimes throws people for a loop, and they think, oh gosh, I can't possibly present within this theme. It's not my area of expertise. And yet they they submit a presentation, they give the presentation, and it always blows people away. And that's why I've enjoyed theming every year, and it will continue.
As someone who has built presentations for some of those themes, it is an interesting, not challenge, but it focuses you or refocuses you in a particular direction. Because
Yeah.
usually the topics you pick, I can usually spin something into it, but maybe I really think that a lot of times it's made it a better presentation or made me think about it differently, because I wouldn't have been kind of coming at it head on the way I might have been.
Yeah.
I'm sliding it into your categorization, and therefore I'm making it even fresher than it was.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Yep.
interesting. So let's get through the specifics of the digital pass. It's available now.
Okay.
MacStockConference.com. Pricing.
Yep. The 3-day digital pass is $149. That includes the content from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is not a time-limited pass, so whether you watch the talks now or you watch them a year from now, they will be there for you to watch them at your leisure, or to rewatch them again in the future. They're all there. 3 days of content that includes all 6 workshops and all 9 45-minute sessions, plus, as I said, that MacVoices Live. I did not include, I suppose I could, I did not include the Mac Geek Gab because I know that Dave released that as a separate episode of his show. So I didn't necessarily include that, but I've been toying with maybe I should just put a link to it, or maybe just embed his YouTube video or something like that. But yeah, the Mac Geek Gab is also part of the weekend, but you can also watch that at Mac Geek Gab's YouTube channel. So,
And to be very, very clear, because you sort of alluded to it, that these are not delivered physically. They're not mailed to you on a stick or anything. They are online, and so you need the code to access them online.
They are, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they are online. They are streaming content that's available through the MacStock website. So once you purchase the digital pass, you access the content for that digital pass through MacStockConference.com.
Yep. Got it. Perfect. All right, folks. So go and check it out. I promise you will not be disappointed. And if you want to know what some of the topics were, Mike, I think that the MacStock 9 website still has all the information about who was there and who spoke on what. Is that a correct statement, so that people can sort of see before they buy?
That is a very correct statement. Yeah, where the website is still MacStock 9. Nothing's been switched over for MacStock 10 at this point. Probably won't be for a couple months. Still MacStock 9. And under the conference menu, you're going to see the schedule. And there's also a separate page for the speakers. But the main thing you'd be interested in is the schedule. And by the way, when or if you do purchase a digital pass, on the digital pass page, I have a download of the PDF schedule that was made available to everybody who attended. So you'd at least have the lineup of presentations, so you can look down that schedule even long after the MacStock 9 page is down. You can look down that schedule and say, oh, okay, Jeff spoke at 11 o'clock on Friday. I want to see Jeff's talk, so you know to go to the Friday talks and locate Jeff's talk there. So the schedule the PDF version of the MacStock 9 schedule will be available on the digital pass page long after we've switched over to MacStock 10.
Perfect. Okay, so to wrap this up, this is finally the end of MacStock 2025, at least here on MacVoices. But you've alluded a number of times to MacStock 10, or which would be MacStock 2026. What can you tell us?
Yes. Wow, MacStock 10. Yeah, I was excited because this was the first year in a long time, and I mentioned this in my closing comments, the first year in a long time since COVID that I could feel confident in announcing the next year's dates. And so at the end of MacStock this year, I was able to announce that MacStock 10 will take place on July 10th, 11th, and 12th, 2026. That's it. So if anyone is interested in attending and you don't already subscribe to the MacStock newsletter, that is probably one of the best places to go. I promise I will not inundate your inbox with email newsletters. About the busiest it gets is maybe the week or two before MacStock when maybe I send out 2 newsletters. But you're not going to be overwhelmed by newsletters from me. But if you sign up for the MacStock newsletter at macstockconference.com, the second there's hot new news about MacStock 10, you will be one of the first to hear about it.
And of course, Mike and I will kick off the road to MacStock next. What do we usually do in February, March, give or take, depending on everybody's schedule.
Like
but yeah, so you'll start hearing from Mike about it. Then we will find out what the theme is at that point. And then we just start to talk to the folks who are going to be speaking and talk to Mike and stay up to speed because, again, I left Crystal Lake this year thinking I can't wait to come back because I know it'll be just as good, if not better. So, Mike, you're welcome here anytime if you want to give us any hints or updates before that. But I think you deserve a little bit of downtime and a little bit of planning time.
Oh, I love giving hints. So if I can come back on and hint around here and there or what might be coming, and I might have slipped a couple of hints in today, but if I can slip a couple of hints in there, I love to do that because if nothing else, I know it teases you a little bit too because you wanna know what's coming. But that said, Chuck, the road to MacStock is one of my highlights of the year. I so enjoy it. I appreciate you giving up so much of your show's time to it every year. I love learning about the presenters. I love sharing a little bit about MacStock, and the effort you put into it just means the world to me. So thank you for doing Road to MacStock every year, and I look forward to it myself.
Well, then everybody looks forward to it. So at least on this show right now,
That's
we
right.
both look forward to it. So that's all that's important, right?
100% of the people on this show right now look forward to Road to MacStock.
Okay.
You can't ask for better percentages than that.
Yes, exactly. I think our sample is a little skewed, but I'll take the percentage.
Well, take the percentage.
I don't think we do this enough. I know I don't do it enough, but I want to make sure that people know that MacStock Conference and Expo is not just everything you do in the Mac space. You also have a little podcast that we never promote enough, and we're going to promote it right now, if you will.
I'm such a horrible promoter. You're right. I don't promote it enough, but I've been doing my podcast since November 2006. So this year will mark the start of the 20th anniversary of For Mac Guys Only. That's my podcast, formacguysonly.com. And just before we got on this call, I was actually editing the episode that Darren and I recorded over the weekend, and that will be out shortly. But we do live stream the recording process. I know more folks are doing that these days, but we live stream the recording, as I say, warts and all, on the second and fourth Saturday every month. And yeah, we have a great time. And we have a great time doing it. So yeah, if folks would like to come hang out, you can join us live at 1 p.m. Central Time on the second or fourth Friday. Subscribe to the show at youtube.com/FMEOTV. Or you can find the audio version of the show, the edited version of the show, the traditional podcast, if you will, on Apple Podcasts or any of your favorite podcatching clients. Just search for for Mac Eyes Only, and you'll find me. Yeah, thank you, Chuck. I appreciate the opportunity. We have a good time on the show, and I really enjoy doing it, and I can't believe it's been 20 years.
Yeah, well, you become known as Mr. MacStock, and which is extremely important in this community. But at the same time, that does not take away anything from the value of For Mac Eyes Only. So if you like hearing from Mike here, you can go hear from him on a much more regular basis with his slant on everything Apple. So yeah, thank you, Mike.
Everything Apple. Regular-ish. Regular. We try to be regular with the show. Regular-ish.
Okay. Regular-ish works. Life gets in the way sometimes.
It works.
Yeah. Well, we give you a pass on the ish for MacStock. So you have every right to miss a few occasionally.
I will say our next episode is going to be live on September 9th, because Apple has officially announced the dates, and we do something that we call our reaction time episode. So we literally record live as Apple is making their announcements. And so we get the opportunity to not only come up with our predictions before the show, which very often are wrong by the end of the show, but then you get to hear our reactions to what Apple is announcing, good or bad, as their presentation goes on. So that would actually be at September 9th at noon Central Time at youtube.com/FMEOTV. And then that will also be released. That'll be released as an audio show that evening. Yeah. So we have a lot of fun with that.
So, folks, we've given you a lot of content here today to check out, both past, present, and future. So, Mike, thank you for all of it. Once again, thank you for MacStock. It is just it's been an amazing event. I can't believe that we're going to be looking at 10 years next year. But
10 years.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me on. Thanks, Chuck.
Well, we will do it again. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Check out everything we talked about, the Digital Pass, at MacStockConference.com. Check out Mike's podcast, For Mac Eyes Only, on YouTube and in the normal podcast catchers and directories. Until the next time, as always, thanks for watching.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.